This is another passage, the second passage. You are asked to read it first, then you do the questions. How many questions are about the evidence? See, this is evidence question. Evidence. Evidence. So guys, so far, out of 21 questions, how many questions test your ability to figure out the evidence? Out of 21 questions, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 21 questions. So what do we understand from that? We understand that the ability to figure out the evidence is very important. That is the most important skill to master SAT. To master SAT, guys, you need to figure out the evidence quickly. See, even in the third passage, we are asked to figure out the evidence as well. So that is about evidence. You are asked to figure out a specific line, a specific piece of information that is evidence about what is in the heading. So that is evidence. See what else we have here. See, that is evidence as well. We need the evidence. In this passage, guys, we are asked to figure out the evidence many times as well. See the word evidence. And this is evidence as well. So what do we understand now? Evidence is very important. The ability to figure out the evidence is so crucial to be able to master SAT. If you read a passage like this one, this is a literature passage about someone called Akira. And I ask you, what is your impression about this guy? You say this guy is nice. So I ask you about your evidence. What is your evidence that this guy is nice? If you say, I feel that he is nice, it means that there is no evidence. You cannot figure out the evidence. So this guy is not nice. SAT is not about feelings. SAT is about getting the evidence. The evidence will be stated in the passage in two ways. It can be stated directly or indirectly. It depends. So it can be stated directly or indirectly. But I must find an evidence for my conclusion. If you say someone is good, what is your evidence? If you say someone is bad, what is your evidence? So make sure that you build everything on evidence. So when it comes to evidence, the evidence can be stated explicitly or implicitly. It means in a direct way or indirect, implied. What does that mean? You know the meaning of this word, right? The word miser. What does this mean, guys? What does this word mean? Raise hand if you know. What does the word miser mean? Raise hand if you know the meaning of this word. He is a miser. What does miser mean? Khalid Abu Bakr, go ahead, Khalid.
Someone who doesn't spend that much money.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Unwilling to spend money. Unwilling to spend money. You are a millionaire, but you are unwilling to spend money. It means you are a miser. You are very rich, but you tend to buy cheap things. Then you are a miser. If you read a passage and you are asked about your impression about Mr. John, and you say, Mr. Ihab, I know that Mr. John is a miser. When you say that, I will ask you about your evidence. What is your evidence that Mr. John is a miser? You say, Mr. Ihab, it is stated explicitly in line 5 in the passage that Mr. John is a miser. So the evidence now is stated explicitly, directly, word for word. It is straightforward. Great. The evidence can be stated indirectly, implicitly. It is implied. So you can get the impression that this guy is a miser from a situation. It is not stated anywhere in the passage that Mr. John is a miser, but from a specific situation, you know that he is a miser, someone unwilling to spend money while he's rich. So how can I get to that conclusion? It is stated in the passage that Mr. John is very rich. When he was between two things, iPhone 14 and iPhone X, for example, he bought iPhone X. What can you understand now? I know that this guy is very rich. And when he was between two things to choose what to buy, what to get, whether you get something expensive with high quality or something cheap with bad quality, he chose the cheap thing with bad quality. Well, he's rich. It means he is amazing. So when you choose the correct answer, you say the answer is miser, and you say, well, it is not stated directly, but it is stated implicitly, indirectly, it is implied in this situation because this guy is very rich and he didn't get the iPhone 14 while he can. So this is the evidence when stated implicitly. Someone sending a message. Anyway, so the evidence is so important. You have to be able to figure out the evidence. So we have two types, explicit and implicit. Back again. So that is the reading section, as I told you. You have 65 minutes to answer 52 questions. It is easy if you master the skills. So easy, actually. See, guys, when you are done, you have the writing section. So we have now like overview of the test. This is the writing section. The questions, see the questions are a bit easier, something underlined and I need to correct it or keep it as it is. We'll explain all that in details all over our course. So see, these are writing questions. We are testing the sentence structure. We are testing the cohesion and the coherence. For example, I ask you where to place sentence 5. So you say, this is sentence 5. Where to place this sentence? Logically, you will master all these skills. But let's get familiar with the types only. We need to know the types. We will be asked about deleting or adding a sentence, deleting or adding. You'll be asked about the subject-verb agreement, transitions. There is a diction question. Diction means you are asked about the difference between words, combining and separating sentences as well. So we have many types actually. We have 44 questions in the second section on SAT, 44 questions that must be answered in 35 minutes. Is it enough to do the 45 questions? Yes, of course. Most of the students do that in like 30 minutes only. 30 minutes. Well, so back again to our sheet, the sheet I sent. So evidence is important, guys. You agree? Evidence is so important. Well, if I ask you to read this case, so this is a kind of riddle, Read it carefully. Try to find the answer of the question. Who killed the history teacher? And how did the police know? You will be ready with the answer plus the evidence. The evidence means, how did you know that? How did you know that? If you say the landscaper did that, why? The math teacher did that, why? The basketball coach did that, why? The principal did that, why? What is your evidence? What is your evidence? Read the case, the whole case, and send the answer in the chat box plus your evidence. So you say, I think the landscaper did that because so-and-so. Go ahead. Mirna Ali, you're a genius. Jana Khaled, excellent, Jana. Excellent, great. Mustafa Helmi, more than perfect. Mustafa Helmi, you have to send the answer plus the evidence. We need the evidence. Okay. Yusuf Fuad, excellent Yusuf. Minna, excellent Minna, more than perfect. Great, guys. Okay, see, doesn't make sense for this. Explain it. Yeah, explain it, Yusuf Fuad. Switch on the microphone and explain it.
Okay, mister. The math teacher is the one who killed the history teacher because he said that he was giving a mid-year test in the first day of school.
Yeah, of course. It does not make sense, right?
Yes, mister.
How would he do that? On the first day of school, you give the guys mid-year test. That is nonsense. So he is telling lies, then he is the murderer. So what did we do now? We got the answer plus the evidence. This is what we gonna do when we answer the questions of SAT. So I will usually ask you about the evidence all the way. Okay, back again to another case. So we care about the evidence, as I told you. Well, guys, let's do this one. The court mystery. Read it carefully. Excellent, Rahab. Excellent, Rahab. The answer plus evidence. This one is a bit tough. The evidence, we weren't sure. Well, guys, right. See, a man is in court for killing his wife. In the closing statements, the man's lawyer surprises everyone when he announces his wife was just missing. Everyone looked at the doors his wife is going to walk in those doors in about 30 seconds. The entire court is silent, and the jury stares at the door as the lawyer and defendant stares at the jury. After a couple of minutes, the lawyer says, "See, if you were so sure he killed his wife, you wouldn't be watching the door." The jury immediately gave a guilty verdict. The judge knew that this man is the murderer. How did they know that this man is the murderer? This is a big riddle, actually. Oh, wow. Myrna Ali. Excellent, Myrna. She got the evidence. Now, the evidence is not stated directly, it is implied. You need to think carefully. Myrna Ali got it. Excellent, Myrna. Who else, guys? This one is tough, and one student only managed to get the answer. Okay, excellent. Okay, Khaled. When she was, yeah, great. Jana, they weren't sure she was, and they didn't. Pay attention, please, all of you. How do we get the evidence now? Let's imagine the case. We are in the court now. A man is in the court for killing his wife. He is in the trial for killing his wife. His lawyer thinks he is smart, so he says, "Judges, you know what? This man in the cage, in the cell, didn't kill his wife. And my evidence is that his wife will step in the courtroom now. So look at the door and she will show up." All the guys in the courtroom looked at the door. They were waiting for the wife to show up as the lawyer instructed, right? But something weird occurred. While everybody in the courtroom did that, two guys didn't. The lawyer, number one, because the lawyer knew that she will not show up. It was a trick from the lawyer to prove something to the judges. So he was not looking at the door because it was the trick made up by him. So why would he look at the door? It was a trick. The second guy who didn't look at the door was the man in the court for killing his wife. The criminal, he didn't look at the door. When the judges noticed that the man was not looking at the door, it was a big evidence for them that he killed his wife, and he was sure that she wouldn't show up at the courtroom. He did that. He is the murderer, and he knew that she would not show up, of course. So it was a big evidence for them. If this man looked at the door, it means he is innocent, right? But not looking at the door gave the judges big clue that he is the murderer, because he was sure that she will not show up because he murdered her. That's it. This one was a bit tough, guys. Well, so this evidence is implied. It is not directly stated. This is like the miser case, as I told you. Okay, another one. Before we get to the terms, the literary terms, we have literary terms now, guys. SAT reading is about thinking out of the box. Think out of the box. Well, guys, so we will take this easy one. And we will explain the literary terms we have today. You need to notice when you read the passage as a whole, you need to notice the minute details, the tiny details sometimes. So just try to answer this. Guess the next 3 letters in the series. We have now like a riddle. We have series now G, T, N, T, L, and I'm asking about the 3 remaining letters. Take your time thinking. Most of the reading questions test the mental potentials. That's why I train your mind now to do something mental. Mustafa Helmi, excellent, Mustafa. Khalid Abu Bakr, correct. Yusuf Wael, excellent, Yusuf. Marina. Who else, guys? Give it a try. Jana Khalid, excellent, excellent, Jana. Minna Amir, more than perfect. So sometimes we need to notice everything. Who else, guys? Rahaf, excellent, Rahaf. Okay, guys. We will explain it now. Hamza, excellent, Hamza. Here we go. Guess the next 3 letters in the series GTNTL. You have to figure that out first. Why we have that order. G is for guess. T is the T in the N. Next, T is for the T of 3. L is the first letter of letters. Yeah. So I know now that we have the first letter of each word. Then I need the ITS. ITS. This is the solution. Well, guys, here we go. The terms now. That is a question on SAT. The passage includes all of the following except one. Add homonym, verifiable statistics. I'm using illustrations, social assessment. These are the answers, and here we have some answers for another questions. Euphemism, hyperbole, acclamation, and sarcasm. Sometimes the question is very easy, but your problem is that You cannot understand the answer choices. If you understand the answer choices, you will be able to figure out the correct answer with the snap of your fingers. So we just need to be familiar with these big words like ad hominem, like euphemism, like hyperbole, sarcasm. If we know what does that mean, ad hominem, euphemism, hyperbole, everything gonna be easy. That's so. We will be introduced with the word euphemism first. Euphemism is very important, guys, in our lives. Most of the fighting, most of the quarrelsome, most of the issues occurring in the world, occurring within the family, occurring between you and your friends are usually because you do not use euphemism. Euphemism is a word or phrase used to avoid saying an unpleasant or offensive word. We have a filtering feature in our minds, gifted by the Almighty. You have to use that filtering. So before saying something to someone, you have to filter the thing in your mind. You gotta process that. So, for example, if you tell someone that he is old, you say, what? You are very old. This is a kind of insulting. This is very harsh. Why would you say that? No one would like to be called as old, right? So use a good word, sugar-coated word, sugar-coated phrase, sugar-coated expression, soft language. So instead of saying old person, you say, grandpa, you are now a senior citizen. Senior citizen. So that is good, man. We got grandpa. You are very old now. You cannot do that. This is very rude, right? So euphemism is very important in our lives. So say senior citizen instead of old person, right? Well, here, instead of saying the harsh word, he died, someone lost his brother, his mother, her father. It would be very harsh if you say that, I know that your father died. What? You remind him or her of like a harsh experience. Why don't you go for sugar-coated expression? Sugar-coated expression. I know that your dad is in a better place now. Is in a better place now. That is very mild. We have the word pregnant. So it is very rude to tell that she is pregnant. That is rude. You can go for the sugar-coated word expecting. I know that she is expecting. You have to know the difference between words. Your word may kill someone emotionally, right? Kill. And your word may heal the wounds of another, right? So this is the language, double-edged weapon. So you have to filter. And instead of saying that he is homeless, someone is homeless, you say he is on the streets. When you tell someone that he is jobless, unemployed, this is harsh. She is desperate and frustrated now when you tell him or her that he or she is unemployed. You say she is between jobs. Between, it means that she quitted and she is waiting. So that is like a transitional period between leaving a position to getting a better job, maybe. So this is mild now. This is mild, right? So we have, and instead of saying a bathroom, a restroom is better, guys. Restroom is better. Some people say bathroom and restroom, and they do not know the difference. They think that the two words are the same, give the same connotation. They give the same meaning, but they do not give the same connotation. The word restroom is mild, you know, that is like a sugar-coated word for the word bathroom. You know, the first one is a kind of humorous, cheating, you know. You are caught red-handed cheating. So you say, oh, I'm not cheating. I'm just borrowing answers. I'm just borrowing answers, you know. So go for the sugar-coated words in your life. Sometimes they use the sugar-coated words in a bad way when it comes to media, guys, when it comes to affecting people's opinions. How come, in which way? For example, if you are watching Fox News, you find something very weird, you know, like the American army occupied many countries during the past decade, like Iraq, like Afghanistan and parts of Pakistan. So when the American army kill people, we know all the meaning of killing, you know. So instead of saying in the news that our army, the American army, killed people, what would occur if they say that in the news? The American people would revolt. The American nation, the American citizen would say, why would you do that? Why you go there and kill innocent people? That is the action of killing. So they would demonstrate, they would revolt. So guys, to avoid that, they do not say kill in the news. They say depopulate. Depopulate. Oh my God. When you hear the word depopulate, you say it is okay. The army depopulated. The army, there is like a big difference between the military forces killed, harsh, very harsh, and the military forces depopulated. Depopulated is mild. So I'm American now. When I hear that, it is okay. Our army depopulated. That is okay. I accept that. I agree. I consent. But the American army killed. No, why would you do that? So the issue of euphemism is very important. Very important. So try to filter the words before saying them. It is so important. We are done with the euphemism. So we know the meaning, but the word is big, but you understand now the meaning, right? So if you see a sentence like Jennifer is between jobs, and I underline it for you, and I say, what rhetorical device is it? You say that is so easy, it is a euphemism. It is a euphemism. We all know the meaning of the word now. Well, we will take a break time, guys, like after 5 minutes, okay? We will take a break time after 5 minutes. Here we go. The ad hominem. The ad hominem. See, let's explain that. The ad hominem is to attack the person, not the topic. The person, not the topic. So someone is discussing a specific issue, the issue of pollution, the issue of terrorism, the issue of volunteerism. He is saying his viewpoint, and it is time for you now to talk or to criticize or to comment on that. So you ignore all of what he said about the topic and you start to attack the person himself, verbally, not physically, verbally. Okay, for example, let's read this. We're gonna read that. Mustafa Helmi, person A, and Yusuf Wael B. Switch on the microphone, guys.
Okay, Mr.
Mustafa Helmi,
Okay, Mr.
go ahead. I think
we should spend more money on environmental protection.
so. What?
You just
wait,
think-
please. Wait,
Okay,
wait.
okay.
What this guy is talking about? He is discussing an important issue of environmental protection. See now what will Yusuf Wael say? Go ahead, Yusuf.
Okay, Mr. You just think that because you're stupid, what's this?
Tree
Mr.?
hugger.
Tree hugger.
Well, guys, what we have now? Person B didn't discuss the issue at all. He didn't discuss the issue of environmental protection at all. He described this guy as stupid in person A. So he didn't criticize the idea, right? He didn't criticize the issue, rather he criticized the person. He criticized the person. For example, we watched that seen many times. Someone black is discussing something, so you find the white saying, "What? Why are you saying that? You're black. You nigger," something like that. Oh, what? How dare you say that? If you go for ad hominem, it means that you are unable to cope with the person A regarding the core, regarding the topic. So you tend to attack the person verbally because you are unable to discuss the environmental protection issue. So you tend to attack the person verbally. That is something bad, of course. Person A, person B now. Well, Myrna Ali and Khalid Abu Bakr.
Yes.
Switch to the microphones, guys. Hey, Myrna. Then Omar. Omar El Sousi, switch the microphone on.
Yes, Mr.
Go ahead. Khalid, you are person A, and Omar, person B. Go ahead.
It is crucial that we facilitate
Facilitate, yeah.
adequate means to prevent degradation that would jeopardize the project.
You think just because you use big words makes you sound smart? Shut up, you loser. You don't know what you are talking about.
Thank you so much. This is a big example of ad hominem as well. Someone discusses an important issue, of course, and the person B did something really weird. And instead of discussing the topic itself, he insulted the person. You think just because you use big words, we will think you are smart, makes you sound smart. Shut up, you loser. You don't know what you are talking about. This is an ad hominem. Actually, I do remember that a US president did that many times. And the president is Donald Trump. In the presidential debates, he used the weapon of ad hominem many times. Many times, guys. In the presidential debates, a presidential candidate, was discussing something really important, and he tended to attack the person, not the idea. So what is ad hominem? It is to attack the person, not the idea. This is the meaning of ad hominem. We know the meaning of euphemism. It is time for the break. You will take a 10-minute break, guys. We will be back at 5:03. Well, guys, back again. So we are done with these terms. We know now the meaning of euphemism, sugar-coated words, ad hominem, to attack the person, not the idea, not the topic. The epistrophe. Epistrophe. What is the epistrophe? Epistrophe is the repetition of words at the end of a clause or a sentence. The repetition of the last word of a clause or a sentence. See the word you here, you, and you. For what reason we do that? Because sometimes we are asked about the reason why the author did that. What is the function? We have a question called function. What is the function of this repetition? So we have to know. The function is here. Authors use techniques like epistrophe and the rhythm. Why? To emphasize, for the sake of emphasis, to emphasize. When a word is repeated at the end of a clause or a sentence, it brings attention to the word as important in the text. Yeah. When I repeat a word, it means that this word is important. It is the effective technique, of course. See, may God bless you. May God keep you. May He make His face to shine upon you. The repetition of you created like rhythm, like music of language is very effective. That is to emphasize the importance of you, the addressed person, the second person. So, see, face the dawn, fear the dawn, the dawn. That is the repetition of the last word in a clause or in a sentence. What do we call that? Epistrophe. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. So it means that the word child is important. Abraham Lincoln used the epistrophe in his Gettysburg speech. Abraham Lincoln, oh, that is a big name on American history. The pioneer, one of the pioneers, guys. So when we read like names, Abraham Lincoln, Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, we gotta show respect to those guys because those guys are the pioneers. See what he said then. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. This repetition of people is called epistrophe. Epistrophe. Okay, figure out the epistrophe in this portion. Who? Min Amir. Can you figure out the epistrophe in this portion? Okay. Excellent. Mirna, Amir, if you can go ahead, no problem. Well,
Is it this is?
this
I
is,
mean, there is.
there is, but you know,
Yeah.
here in the definition of epistrophe, we say at the end, not at the beginning.
Okay.
So it is
Problem.
excellent. Thank you. The word problem, guys, repeated at the end of the clauses. There is no Negro problem. There is no Southern problem. There is no Northern problem. I have a question for you now, something we didn't explain, but I will test your knowledge. The repetition of a word at the end of each clause is called epistrophe. What do we call the repetition at the beginning of each clause? What do we call this repetition? There is no, there is no, there is no. What do we call that? Raise hand or send it to the chat box, guys. Send it to the chat box if you know. What do we call the repetition at the beginning of the sentence? Raise hand if you know, or send the chat box.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Mr. Can you hear me?
I hear you well, Khaled.
No, Fatih.
Sorry, Fathi. I hear you well. Let's see now. Okay, guys, great. But we have another question now. You know the answer, Minna? Go ahead.
Does it come from the word itself? Epistrophe? As
No,
apostrophe? No, okay.
that is called parallel structure. Parallel structure. Okay, that's it. When I have like the same structure at the beginning of each sentence or of each clause, I call it parallel structure. There is no, there is no, there is no. So that is a parallel structure. Well, but when it comes to the words at the end, this is epistrophe. Here we go. We will explain the simile now. So what do we have today, guys? The terms, some important terms. What is a simile? Raise hand if you know. What is a simile? Okay, Khalid, take a screenshot, no problem. Or regarding the previous one here. Simile. Fathi Ashraf, go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Similarly, compare two things by like and as.
Comparing two things.
By like
Oh.
and as.
Okay. Thank you so much, Fathi. Okay, thank you so much, Fathi Ashraf. I really appreciate
Welcome,
that.
sir.
Excellent, Fathi. Mustafa Helmi. Switch the microphone, Mustafa.
Comparing two online things that's often introduced by like or as.
Excellent, more than perfect. Who can give me an example of a simile, guys? Who can give me an example of a simile? A simile is to liken two different things, maybe people, something, things like that. Using like or as. I must see like or as to say that this is a simile. Correct, Yusuf Wa'il. Raise hand, interact, guys. Raise hand. If you can give an example of a simile. I give you example. He is like a tiger. He is like a tiger. So I liken someone, the tiger, animal. So that is a simile because I use the word like. He is like a tiger. That is a simile. Who can give me another example of a simile?
Sir,
Fathi.
my example is correct.
Say it again, please.
Okay, Omar is like lion.
Correct, of course. Khalid, go ahead.
Sir is like a cheetah.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Write an example on the chat.
Yeah, okay. Rahaf, the girl is like a flower, correct. Jana Khalid, she looks like a princess. Okay. He's as cold as rice. As ice, sorry. Omar, yeah, Omar. Yeah. But that is not a sentence. You sent as cold. No. There must be a sentence. It must give complete thought. A simile must give a complete thought. Excellent, Jana Balawi, more than perfect. Excellent, Hamza. Okay, guys. So we know the simile now, right? We know the simile. He is like a tiger. Metaphor. Raise hand if you know the definition of metaphor. What is the definition of metaphor? So these are the basics, like the terms, some terms we have today. We dive deeper next time, of course. Okay. Min Amir, what is a metaphor?
Mr. I sent you the chat. Can you
Correct.
see it?
That is correct. Yeah. Your definition is correct. Go ahead.
Okay. It's combining by two things, but without using like or as, like combining directly.
Excellent. Give me an example, Minna. What did I do? I just omitted like. That's it. He's a tiger. She is flower.
She is princess.
She is, yeah, okay. Correct. That is a metaphor.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hamza, no, that is not accurate. When you say this is apple juice, you didn't compare two things. You just describe the thing. This is apple juice. Okay, if it is, then I'm just stating facts. Here we go. What is personification? Personification. By the way, guys, try to interact. What if you answer incorrectly? It would be okay. That is so normal. It is so okay for any student to make mistakes, to err. That is so normal. If you answer incorrectly, we will not shoot you. Well, Yusuf Wael, go ahead. I can't hear you, Yusuf.
Sorry, Mister.
No problem.
It is when you describe something like an animal, like a human.
So, when you give the qualities of humans to people, right? Or animals, why not? Yeah, that is correct. Can you guys send examples of personification? For example, when they left the house, the walls cried. When they left the house, the walls cried. Can the walls cry? No. Who can cry? Humans. So I gave the quality of crying that belongs to humans to something which is the walls. See, the flowers dance. The flowers cannot dance. People can. So what did I do now? I gave the quality of dancing to something, to the flowers. The quality of dancing for people. So when I say the flowers danced, it is a personification. Okay, the sun wink. Excellent, Mirna Ali. Excellent, Mirna. The walls have ears. Excellent, Jana. The trees sang. Jana Khalid, Jana Badawi, more than perfect. Wow, guys. Minna Ahmed, the sun smiled down on us. Oh, wow. Excellent, Minna. 100% right. Wow. Khalid Abu Bakr,
Yes.
go ahead. If you have something to say.
No, I don't. I
Oh,
forgot to lower my
yeah.
hand.
Well, no problem. Excellent, Fathi Ashraf. Back again. I will send you this PDF, guys, to our main group. To the main group. We have main group, guys. The grade 9 preset, the grade 9 preset group. And we have some groups for this specific session only. So if you want to like to join, you have to tell me to add you to the main group. Anyway, we will send you this PDF in the main group. Here we go. This one now. Here we are done with the epistrophe. And the simile. We have examples of similes here. Yeah, Mustafa, mute yourself if you please, because you have background noise. I think these examples of a simile. Okay, if you'd like to read these examples, raise hand. Okay, Khalid, go ahead. Read the examples.
Our soldiers are as brave as lions. Her cheeks are red like a rose. He's as funny as a monkey. He's as cunning as a fox.
Okay, go on. We have now short examples of similes and sentences.
At exam time, the high school student was as busy as a bee. The beggar on the road looked as blind as a bat. When the examination finished, the candidate felt as light as a feather. When the teacher entered the class, the sixth grade students were fighting like cats and dogs. The diplomat the diplomat said the friendship of the two countries was as deep as an ocean. His opponent was trying to infuriate him, but he remained as cool as a cucumber. The study paper was as tricky as a labyrinth.
Well, that is the simile. Okay, go on. That is in poetry now. In poetry. Go on, Khalid.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. Shall I compare the to a summer's day?
The. Shall I compare the? The means you, but in Old English, in archaic English. And over was written like that in archaic English as well, in Old English. And the means you. So shall I compare thee to a summer's day? That is part of a drama now, Othello and Emilia. Go ahead.
Othello, she was false as water. Emilia, thou art rash as fire.
Thou art rash as fire. That means you as well. Okay, thank you so much, Khalid. So
No problem.
we read examples of similes now, guys. Okay, I say something and you give me the term. So if I say, for example, she is a flower, you say you liken she to a flower. It means it is a metaphor because you didn't use like or as. We say, okay, she is like a flower. It is a simile because I liken two different things using like or as. The wolves cried when they left the house. So it is a personification. Now, I'm hungry that I can eat a horse. That I can eat a horse. What do we call that? Raise hand if you know. I'm hungry that I can eat a horse. I can eat a horse is an example of what? I can eat a horse is an example of. Raise hand if you know. I can eat a horse because I'm hungry, but is that true? Can I? So what do we call this? Send in the chat box, guys, all of you. Send the answer in the chat box. Oh, I'm hungry that I can eat a horse. That one is a bit difficult. Khalid got it. Correct answer, Khalid. Mustafa, no. Hamza, no, not correct. Okay, what do we call it? Jana, what do we call it?
Mister, are you talking to me?
Yeah. You sent the definition, but you didn't send the word. So for example, when you say, when I say he is like a tiger, if I say he is comparing or he is likening two different things with like or as, so I say, give me a word, you say a simile. So we just need one word for that. Well, guys, here we go. I'll tell you the answer now, okay? I can eat a horse. Can a human being eat a horse? Impossible. Impossible. So it is called exaggeration. That is exaggeration, guys. Exaggeration. Here, yeah. Just wait. Exaggeration, or sometimes we call it hyperbole. Exaggeration or hyperbole. That is when I exaggerate. I'm hungry, so yeah, I can eat like a great amount of food. Yeah, I can do that, but I cannot eat a horse. So I give you another example. If I assign like 5 pages of homework, and your mom asking you about the homework, you say, "Oh my God, Mr. Ihab assigned 1,000 pages." So 1,000 pages is an exaggeration as well. Is an exaggeration as well. When you say, for example, your like grandpa is very old, and you say like he is as old as the pyramids, there is a kind of exaggeration as well. Hyperbole, exaggeration, guys. Okay. That is, yeah, when you maximize, well, exaggeration, I can eat a horse. When you have like something huge, and you say that it is like the pyramids, so that is a kind of exaggeration as well. See now this exaggeration or hyperbole? Our new pool is as big as the ocean. Our new pool is as big as the ocean. It means that they have big pool, but the pool, of course, cannot be compared to the ocean, no doubt. Right? Yeah. Okay. So that is a kind of exaggeration. Well, the last thing we take today is the aphorisms. The aphorisms. An aphorism is a short, concise statement expressing wise saying, wisdom, wise saying, a clever observation, In order to fully understand an aphorism, it is good idea to try and state the meaning of the statement in your own words. See, you know that, of course. When the cat's away, the mice will play. Right? When the cat's away, the mice will play. So it means that people become unruly, uncontrollable, when authority is absent. So you remember, guys, when they tell you that the teacher is absent and you feel the joy, you feel enthusiastic, you know, you celebrate even in the class sometimes. So we say, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Who can explain this? So aphorism is wise saying, rational saying. Who can explain this to us? 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. Who can explain it? Explain it, Khalid.
So if 2 of them are dead, they cannot speak, and the only one alive will never talk about it.
Correct. What else, guys? We have another explanation. Hamza. Go ahead, Hamza. Switch on the microphone.
Yes, Mister.
What do we mean by 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead?
Means if 3 have a secret, if 2 of them dead, the secret will still with the only
One.
life one.
Correct. You know what, guys? It means do not tell anybody about any secret in your life. Do not tell anybody any secret in your life. Because as long as the one you tell him the secret is alive, he will tell this to another one. And it is a secret no more. So 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. Well, who is able to explain this one? Oh, this one is tough. You need to be wise to understand this aphorism. Fish and visitors smell in 3 days. Fish and visitors smell in 3 days. This one is a bit difficult. Try to figure it out. What do we mean by that? I tell you guys, smell here means like the bad smell. Fish will be with bad smell if you leave it for 3 days, right? So that is a fact. But what do we mean by visitors smell in 3 days? You know, I tell you now. Imagine you're living in Riyadh with your family and someone Uh, a relative, a relative in Egypt informed you that he will visit Riyadh next week, and I need to stay for like 2 days or 3 days. And you say, okay, why not? No problem. We will get things ready for that. And when this guy arrives, and instead of staying for 3 days as he promised, he stays for like 10 days. 10 days. So that is not okay, of course. So we say that visitors smell in 3 days. So do not stay in someone's house for more than 3 days. If you are a guest, do not stay for more than 3 days with a relative or someone like that, because they will not endure your stay more than 3 days. After 3 days, you will be a burden, a load on the hosts. Okay, that is what we mean by fish and visitors smell in 3 days. Well, if you would know the value of money, try to borrow some. Deep meaning, guys. We are not asking about the shallow meaning. We are asking about the deep meaning. This is like a code. Who can decode that? Raise hand. No one can. It seems it's difficult. It means like if you spend the money without knowing the value of the money, you will know the value if you ask someone to lend you money. If you ask someone to lend you money, you will know the value. How? After 2 days, like from borrowing the money, this guy may call you, Ahmed, I want my money back. So you say, but I told you that I will give it back after a week. He would say, no, this is my money and I need it now. Say, I cannot. And he keeps calling you. He may call your parents, your acquaintances, and tell other people about that. So now you know the value of money. If you have an amount of money, you will not spend it all. You say, I spend like half and I keep the other half for any circumstances that would occur, right? Okay. Another riddle now. The deep meaning. What is the deep meaning we want to send here? The cat in gloves catches no mice. The cat in gloves catches no mice. What do we mean by that? Okay.
Mister, can I try?
Of course. Go ahead.
It says that the cat can catch something when it's in the gloves. Like for example, he needs to work like like he needs to work harder.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not sure for
Good,
my answer.
Good. No problem. But you tried. That is too much better than not trying at all.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So here they are. Yusuf Wa'il. It means you cannot get what you want by being too cautious. Oh, wow. Excellent, Yusuf Wa'il. You cannot get what you want by being so cautious. The cat in gloves catches no mice. There is a mice in the room, and you want your cat to catch it. If you keep your cat in your gloves, how would the cat catch the rat or catch the mouse? It can't be. It can't be, of course, right? So we say, you have to try the thing. Do not say, no, I will not try. I'm afraid of failure. No, just try. You may succeed. So you have a chance of success. You agree? You have chance of success. If you try, you must try. The cat in gloves catches no mice. If you keep something like an animal caged, it will not have a chance to get anything, right? If your parents kept you caged, you will not try new things. You will not try to get educated about new topics. So you have like not sufficient knowledge. It means that you will not succeed almost. You need to know about everything. You need to try new things. So do not be too cautious. It can't be. You will not succeed. What is the difference between this is the last question of the day. And I ask you to read these examples. You will enjoy them and try to figure out the deep meaning. We will explain them next time, but you just try. Anyway, the last question of the day. What is the difference between the tea is too hot and the tea is very hot? The tea is too hot and the tea is very hot. What is the difference between too and very? Raise hand if you know. Hamza, go ahead if you know the answer. Khalid Abu Bakr, go ahead.
I think the tea is too hot. The tea is supposed to be like reaches a point where you can't bear with it. You cannot even hold it or drink it. But very it is hot, but you can still drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. That is correct. The word very and the word hot now. The word hot is negative. Is negative. So it's too hot, it means I cannot drink it. I cannot drink it, but very, I may like it to be very hot. So yeah, why not? I can drink it. The tea is very hot. It is okay. But it's too hot. The word too is negative. So if you wanna write an adjective as negative, Yusuf Wa'il, write before it too, rather than very or so. Okay, Yusuf? So we write too cautious. Too cautious is too much better than so cautious. You understand the difference now? Well, here we go, guys. We are done. Thank you so much for the great interaction. I hope you enjoyed the session. I will send you on the main group the timings of the sessions. Have a great day, guys.
You too, Mr.
On the main group, I'll do that.
Thank you, Mr.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.